Hello and welcome, my name is Lynx, and as I said, Dear Esther, Landmark Edition, here we go again. Here we go again. Well, technically I don't really have a reason to read the description, but let's read the short version at least. Dear Esther immerses you in a stunningly realized world, a remote and desolate island somewhere in the outer Hebrides. As you step forwards, a voice begins to read fragments of a letter. Dear Esther, and so begins a journey through one of the most original first-person games of recent years. And let's not go that far. Once again. Come on, guys. Come on. So, the Landmark Edition was released in 2017. So, I guess 5 years after the original. And it has been remade with the Unity engine. Wasn't the first one also in Unity? Full audio remaster. Really? And brand new director's commentary. Allowing players to explore the island and learn what inspired the game. Got it. Okay. But the important question is, did you add a sprinting ability? Do I want this? Nah. They also added achievements for.
Dear Esther, the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless...
Okay, let's do this.
...of creatures swim.
No. Didn't do it. Should I do this? Well, we'll see. The next time he talks. I mean, it looks the same to me, inside at least of the house. The outside. Okay, the water is jumping a little bit now, so that's an upgrade. But indeed it's an upgrade. Sure. But later I will just slide down. Or maybe I won't. Maybe we'll take a long approach as well. Despite finishing the original. I mean, the animations are better here. Whoa, that's huge.
Hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
Okay. To be fair, I'm literally recording this on the same day. So it might be kind of weird to play the same game one after the other, but I felt like it. I definitely have less to talk about now. But yeah. I wish I could sprint. On the other hand, I probably could repeat everything that I said before. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Even I don't know that. I totally saw something flying up here from. That's crazy. It's kind of funny how WASD has become basically a normalcy when it comes to traveling, right? Like the arrows do not work at all.
When you were born,
Oh, now we're talking.
a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
Okay. You know what's funny? I might play the game after this one more time as well. And I'll enable that director's commentary. But I'll also probably need to hunt for achievements this way. Because there are achievements which I want to trigger, but I don't want to trigger now during the video. Like, for example, what I...
A wonderful sight. The moon cresting the junction between the cliff path and the stone circle.
Moon?
It cast a shadow of the ridge across the beach.
There?
All the world as if you had signed your name in untidy handwriting.
Yeah, like the thing that we tried in the original in the very beginning. I mean, tried. I wasn't going to really do that. I'm curious, but no. Basically, you apparently can drone a character. Based on the achievements, at least. And you also can drop down from cliffs. Also, supposedly, you are to find some
When someone had died,
errands.
or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this. To keep any would-be
I thought it
rescuers
was a
at bay.
person here.
Protection is not simply of the flesh.
I don't think I've seen the errands for, like, when I was playing the original.
I quote directly. A motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most godforsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
I wonder if maybe there is one urn per chapter? Because I think the achievement is to find 4. Maybe that's the case.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We
I
drank
remember
coffee
that
in his
line.
kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
This hermit, this seer, this distant historian of bones and old bread, where did he vanish to? Why, asked the farmers. Why, asked Jakobsen. Why bother with your visions at all, if you're just to throw your arms up at the cliff and let it close in behind you and seal you into the belly of the island, a museum shut to all but the most devoted?
I think the previous one you couldn't hear the footsteps. Over here there were footsteps. But I might... This thing again. I might be mistaken for. Maybe I didn't pay enough attention to that. Maybe. Do, 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 do.
The vegetation here has fossilized from the roots up. To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that. It is all sick to death. The water is too polluted for the fish, the sky is too thin for the birds, and the soil is cut with the bones of hermits and shepherds. I've heard it said that human ashes make great fertilizer, that we could sow a forest from all that is left of your hips and ribcage, with enough left over to thicken the air and repopulate the bay.
Humans to a great fertilizer, interesting. So I took the high ground. But I guess you could also pass through here, right? Oh, nope, 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 nope. For this might be the spot to do one more achievement. That involves falling. And completely crashing your head. Well, I definitely didn't see any urns. So no clue at this spot. Yeah, I would love me some sprint in the end. Sprinting. Finish chapter The Lighthouse.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my ordnance survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Do. Yeah, I definitely took the same route now. The funny part is, I mean, it's not really funny for me, but the funny part is, as I mentioned, I will have to play this one more time.
It was as prosaic as it was presented. How disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated the inhabitants so. To him, they must have seemed like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a mercy seat. Why cling so hard to the rock? Because it is the only thing that stops us from sliding into the ocean, into oblivion.
For the sake of achievements. It's kind of funny. I'm hunting achievements, but not always. Some games I will, some I won't. I feel like if I know that... Oh, sorry. If I know that achievement can be gained, I'll do it. Otherwise, whatever. Basically, that kind of feeling. I wonder if... I wonder if Garrett's Frontline 2 already got an update now. Because new girl about to arrive. Sakura, from what I remember. Such a, in a way, cursed name because of Naruto. Oh my god, that one was pure, actually dirty garbage. That character. I haven't even watched that.
How else could new hermits have arrived?
I haven't even watched Naruto right now. I knew a little fragments of it. But the pink-haired Sakura, Jesus Christ. She's garbage. Both ugly and terrible personality. It's a full combo.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
I still wonder why he had an operation with that. Like, how bad must that have been? You have to be operated with kidney stones, right? Any dialogue here?
When I first looked into the shaft, I swear I felt the stones in my stomach shift in recognition.
Yeah, there is also an achievement for that, to trigger all the speaking. I don't know if you will get there, but maybe. If we want, well, I'll survive that somehow.
I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
I still don't see any urns anywhere. I wonder if maybe he triggers a speech when there is an urn. Who knows?
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either. When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring
Stupid
when the
bird.
rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
Dun, dun. Can we go up there? I must check. I think I haven't done that previously. Oh no, we probably can't. Or, yeah, we can't. Can't say I'm happy. I definitely wanted to go there. Well, the wind definitely sounds like a wind when it's like hitting you hard. Whoa.
He left his body to the medical school and was duly opened out for a crowd of students 21 days after his passing. The report is included in my edition of his book. The syphilis had torn through his guts like a drunk driver, scrambling his organs like eggs on a plate. But enough definition remained for a cursory examination.
Gotcha.
And, as I suspected, they found clear evidence of kidney stones. He's likely to have spent the last years of his life in considerable pain. Perhaps this is the root of his laudanum habit. Although its use makes him an unreliable witness, I find myself increasingly drawn into his orbit.
Okay.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired, curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse.
This is the urn, isn't it?
The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot. But he is proving an unreliable witness.
It must be triggering with the dialogue. So, if I had to guess, that cave in the first area, that might have been where the urn was. I have not seen the urn for, but hopefully just the dialogue triggered it. So I think I'm also correct with the thinking that each area will have one of those. We'll see. If I get an achievement, I was correct. If I won't, who knows? Oh. Literally the inside of the ship in the past.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Yay! Okay. If I were to give an advice, by the way, I would say definitely don't play the original and the remake on the same day. I feel like it is an advice for any game, really. Yeah. It's kinda painful. Again, maybe if there was a sprint button. But no. A candle again. Oh, now we are dropping down, aren't we? Yeah. Time to drop down to chapter 3. Woo! Finish chapter, the boy. The boy. As the thing floating in the water.
Oh, here, this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. And hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls.
Alright. On to the next one. Let's find the next urn. I wonder how that will go. Oh, I wonder how that will go. Oh, I do. Okay, that's pointless. Yeah, let's not overdo it. My footsteps like stopped. This is loud. Oh, I will have to edit this stuff a little bit later in the audio. I also like can't get the grasp of my own voice with this mic, which is funny. Like, where should I exactly set it up, right, when it comes to volume?
There is no other direction, no other exit from this motorway. Speeding past this junction, I saw you waiting at the roadside, a one last drink in your trembled hands.
Wait, did I take a wrong path? Somehow. Or have I... Oh, yeah, that's this one. Okay, never mind. We are to climb up now, I think. Yeah. And we drop again. I wish, like, the game developers would keep all the music and so on at the same level and not change that level at all. Then again, I guess I'm speaking like that because I will have to, you know, adjust all of that later. That is something I do like to repeat within games. When literally, like, the sounds are jumping up and down. This would be so slippery here. Kinda tempted. Kinda. But also, that temptation is not enough. So many shrooms. I bet they are toxic for. They must be toxic. Is this guy crawling faster than walking, by the way?
If the caves are my guts, this must be the place where the stones are first formed. The bacteria phosphoresce and rise, singing through the tunnels. Everything here is bound by the rise and fall, like a tide. Perhaps the whole island is actually underwater.
Yep. I. No, wait. What the fuck? Don't tell me Don't tell me I can't get out now. Come on, man. Oh, okay. So I can't go to the other side here. That's... I think I could do it previously. But also, once again, this is where I would like to have my sprint. So I don't have to walk this slowly all the way back. So, what are you guys playing? Yeah, after the racer, jump back to itch.io once again. I'll play some stuff from there. And after I don't know how many games from there, back to Saudi Electronics, because again I have to play 2 more games from there which were gifted to me by a friend. Yeah. I will actually also have to go to even worse of a launcher, UB crap. As I might have gotten my hands on Far Cry 6. Yeah, this year is going to be different. Funnily enough. This year is not going to be another year of breaking the amount of games I played on YouTube. This year I will just clear some stuff. Some stuff that I couldn't play in the past as well, to be fair. Like the Immortals of Avium. I would not be able to record that without the little upgrades I did. The other 2 games from Saudi Electronics launcher, yeah, same situation. I'll be honest, I don't remember which... Oh yeah, I couldn't climb here. Far Cry 6 also couldn't.
You offered to me. From the summit down to this well, into the dark waters where the small flowers creep for the sun. Headlights are reflected in your retinas, moonlit in the shadow of the crematorium chimney.
Now it will be possible. Then again, I mean, before the upgrades, I could not, like, record even my gacha pulls at 60 FPS, for example. Oh, I just realized something. I did not do the settings to switch to 60 FPS for recording today. Both original D-Raster and this one. Whatever. It's fine. It's not like it would speed up my walk. It's not like they would give me the sprint ability in 60 FPS. Then again, I don't even know. Is there a limit on this game or whatever, now that I think about it? Nah, they didn't. They didn't do anything of that. Which is fine. So I have not seen any of the urns. I don't think he spoke of anyone also to trigger anything like that, so that is an issue. Jogo has arrived to bother me, which is fine. I can manage. Time to jump. On to chapter 4, maybe. Okay. Oh yeah, is the maybe urn here somewhere? Can I go to the other line, I wonder? Yeah, I can. Huh. I didn't try it previously. But there were 2 cars previously. Only one this time? Can I go back? No. Oh yeah, it was not that jump to next chapter for. I don't know why I said that. Come on, man, don't slow down. Come on, man. Pace, 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 pace. Bakshin, 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 shin. Come on, man. Embrace the bakshin way. Achievement unlocked. Finish chapter The Caves. And before I end this with just 4 achievements, by the way. For finishing chapters, but nothing else. Okay, first thing first, we go to the left. Dun-dun-dun.
The moon over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
Is it the same over here? Yeah, there's like no... Ah! No! I refuse! I totally expected an invisible wall there for. So the thing is, he didn't trigger any speech regarding someone's death in the previous chapter, so I think me finding an urn over there didn't happen. Maybe it's in another one more spot, but I haven't noticed. wonder if I should go here as well. Wait a second. Can I go here? Please, no. There is like a little path there. Up there, yeah. I hope I can go through here. Previously I could. Heck yeah. Dun 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 dun. Yep. It is a crazy nice moon, to be fair. Oh yeah, there is no more paths here, huh? But yeah, there is. Bucket of paint. Right, now we are basically on a path to actually finally climbing and not descending.
Dear Esther, I
Yeah.
find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
It's like there is a way to trigger sometimes stuff, but not always. I don't know. Lift your leg a little higher, man. That's all that needs to be done over there. My teachers in middle school, some of them would be driven crazy by if I did that. Stop that! Thing is, I could, yeah, I like there is a different sound to it sometimes, like, and then no dialogue here. Anyway.
There were chemical diagrams on the posters on the walls on the waiting room. It seemed appropriate at the time.
Oh.
Still life abstractions of the processes.
There is a painting over there as well. What the heck?
And your muscles in the next room. I crammed diazepam as I
That's
once
crazy.
crammed for chemistry examinations. I am revising my options for a long and happy life.
That is crazy. Yeah. But yeah, then came high school and they wouldn't know that it was me who would piss them off with those. I'm glad I remember how to do it still, to be fair.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant
We're not
to send
there
to
yet.
you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach.
There we are.
Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic. And I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
I wonder why 21. Is it just because you covered that many pages? Or is there actually some deeper meaning to that? I have no idea. Alright, we have one hell of a climb left. Let's deal with it. There is something over there as well on the... Yeah, whoever was painting that, what a wild person. I don't know how you would even do that.
Drag my leg behind me. I will drag it like a crumpled hatchback, tires blown and sparking across the dimming lights of my vision. I'm running out of painkillers and am following the flicker of the moon home. When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they restarted his heart with the jump leads
I have not
from a
been
crumpled
here.
hatchback. It took 21 attempts to convince it to wake up.
I have not gone this area previously. I must have not turned around at all back then. Not like it got me anywhere, like just like one candle. Oh, I just thought of an asshole achievement, by the way. Ready? Put down all the candles. You know why it's asshole achievement, right? It's because you can't sprint. Another one. Complete the game in this amount of time. And set it to time that you can't manage because you can't sprint. I'm sorry. I'm giving really bad ideas to the devs. Sometimes I give good ideas. And sometimes I give terrible ideas. Here is a good idea that I will give to Team Swine from Epic.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom.
Make actually a good launcher.
I've been folded
That's a great
in time, a weakness
advice.
In the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, the same could be said to EA, of course. Ubisoft, of course. I'm gonna be honest with you, to GOG as well. I think GOG's launcher just could look better. I don't know, it has kind of like, I would say, ancient design, in my opinion. Then again, it's still working. And way better than the other stuff. Again, Saudi Electronics, Team Swines, Epic,
If only Donnelly had experienced this,
epically garbage
he realized
launcher,
he was his own shoreline, as am
and
I.
you be shite.
Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones.
That's a strong light coming from this one. But don't even get me started, by the way, on micro slop store. I'm never using that, that's for sure. Yeah, the moment I see, if you want to install it, you have to go to micro slop store. No. I'd rather not install it than at all.
Bent back like a nail, like a hangnail, like a drowning man clung onto the wheel, drunk and spiraled, washed onto the lost shore under a moon as fractured as a shattered wing. We cleave, we are flight and suspended, these wretched painkillers, this form inconstant. I will take flight, I will take flight.
You know, I've not... I mean, at least I don't remember. Aside from being in a hospital long time ago when I had my appendix cut off, I don't think I've ever been on actual painkillers. Like, I would not even take something for like a strong headache or whatever. Nah. On the other hand, it's not like I would tell you, don't take it. Don't. But, you know, if you feel like you need it, go for it. I rarely ever need something like that. When I was sick, obviously I would take stuff for dealing with my throat. For, wait, is this Frosty? Damn, the rail is... Now I'm curious if the water is frozen. Nah, I think it's moving a little bit. Nah, it's not frozen over there at least. Over here, I'm not sure. Huh. Okay. So it became kind of wintry. I said in the original that I would not want to sleep in here, that's for sure, but you didn't get the feeling of it being wintry, but, you know, just basically like the stones being slippery. With just water could cause that. See, to be fair, right now, this situation... In a second, I'll finish.
Whilst the sirens fell through the middle distance and the metal moaned in grief about us. I'm about this night in walking. Old bread and gull bones. Old Donnelly at the bar gripping his drink. Old Esther walking with our children. Old Paul as ever. Old Paul. He shakes and he shivers and he turns off his lights alone.
Okay, I'll finish now. What I've that all this like wintry feeling for a moment. Made me remember, because I have that thought often, that I would like to go by our Baltic Sea in Poland in winter. Which should be basically now. But at the same time, I feel like right now, maybe. I could check, but I feel like I would like when there is snow to be there. Then again, my mind is bent. I actually like sea, rivers, lakes. Despite not being able to swim. But I like being by them.
We will leave twin vapor trails in the air. White lines etched into these rocks.
Alright, I can't move now. He's doing it on his own.
My belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across the
I don't think I found the another urn.
Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jacobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
So you mentioned 2 names. I guess I found 2 urns then, or something like that. Alright, maybe I'm wrong. Take a flight. Do you think in this one the credits will be broken for me as well? That I won't be able to see the credits? Unless I trigger them from the main menu. I mean, I guess there was some graphical improvement, right? But other than that, the same game. Dude, man. I personally am not a fan of like remakes or whatever. I would rather see Dev making a new game instead of, oh, you know what, we need to improve graphics on Death. How about just make a new game? The 21 ships. And
Come back.
wait, he said come back. What if I went instead of W, I'll press S. Or W. There we go. We have the credits. And there is no sound. I think I really did finish the game with only 4 achievements. Yeah. Just finish chapter this, and that. Oh boy. That went terribly wrong. I can do that easily. I can do that easily. I probably can do that. Triggering all voice points will be a pain. The urns will be hard. Directory commentary as well. Yeah, well, I mean, I will not be dragging you into more of this, that's for sure. But I will have to drag myself into another hour or so. I'll turn on the director's commentary and do one more run I'll try to actually find everything that is possible to find. And I will also find out this way if I'm going to 100% this or not. That's right. That's right. Anyway, one day, played through the Esther twice anyway. Once the original from 2012, and now the remake from 2017, the Landmark edition. That would be enough recording for today. Gotta do some other stuff. And, well, I guess Polish people noticed. Wait, is this game Polish? Because that's a lot of Polish names there. Wait a second. Dear Esther, what country is the developer from? Independent British studio. But yeah, there were some Polish names there. I guess let's end it. Let's end it. Yeah. Now I'm gonna take my doggo on a walk, eat, deal with, you know, your everyday human being stuff. And after that, it will be sleep. Eventually. With that being said, once again, a nice little, you know, walk through a little island that apparently belongs to Scotland and so on. Yeah. I'll still need to jump into this one more time. Yeah. And that will be it. With all of that being said, as always, hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider liking the video. If you're new around, consider subscribing. Always super appreciated if you decide to stick around. I shall continue playing games, hopefully to your liking, some of them at least. And, well, that's about it really. I wish you a fantastic day, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow too, in the next game. The next game will be from Ninja.io. Yeah. Bye-bye!